Liz Truss is fighting to remain as Prime Minister as more MPs publicly call for her to quit in the last 24 hours, but the Conservative Party leader has since vowed to remain in her current position. It comes after Naga Munchetty reacted to the government's U-turn on tax cuts following Jeremy Hunt's announcement yesterday. Speaking on BBC Radio 5 Live on Monday, Naga, 47, seemingly took aim at the Prime Minister live on air. The BBC breakfast host was joined in the studio by political correspondent, Ian Watson, who declared Truss's reputation was shredded. His comments come after Naga appeared to mock the Tory party leader beforehand. "Ian, I want to play you something," she began. BBC Radio 5 listeners could hear a drilling sound being played in the background. She continued, "That's a shredder, and that's exactly what's happened with Liz Truss's ideas. Her budget ideas, that she was in lockstep with, I won't forget that phrase with Kwasi Kwarteng, says she's now in lockstep with Jeremy Hunt. It's been ripped up. Everything she stood for, everything she campaigned on to become leader has been ripped up." She questioned, "Where does this leave her?" Ian replied, "You had the sound of the shredder, but it's also shredded her reputation. It's not just the policies that have gone but also her reputation." The political correspondent went on, "Her arguments during the summer were that the Treasury orthodoxy had to be cast to one side. We had the highest tax burden in 70 years, and the old way of doing things simply didn't work. Now we have Treasury orthodoxy again, in an attempt to at least balance the books, if not, make them more imbalanced than they would have been." Radio 2's Zoe Ball breaks silence on being highest paid woman at BBC latest. Hugh Edwards embarrassed by calls for knighthood after Queen coverage. Royals Demi Rose poses in barely their bikini during sizzling sunshine break pictures. We now are having a review of her whole tax and spending agenda. On October 31, that's the point we'll get to the spending, and that could be bad news again. The new Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, has reversed almost all tax cuts in Truss's and Kwasi Kwarteng's initial mini-budget and added further changes would be made. Mr. Hunt, who only stepped into the job on Friday, promised, "The objective is to design a new approach that will cost the taxpayer significantly less than planned, whilst ensuring enough support for those in need. Any support for businesses will be targeted to those most affected, and the new approach will better incentivize energy efficiency. The most important objective for our country right now is stability." Meanwhile, 5 Tory MPs said the Prime Minister must go, but senior figures warned it was time to get behind Ms. Truss. A government source said the PM understands it is quite an important 24 to 48 hours to win over MPs. Asked if she would stick around as PM, she told the BBC's Chris Mason, "I'm sticking around because I was elected to deliver for this country. And that is what I am determined to do."